Hi, welcome. On this video, this would be part two of my series on the concept of tracking through drive. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about answering the question is, in regards to can you actually take a dog that has had a certain level of training, and it could be through, it's called using, say, maybe even using footstep method tracking, a very slow and kind of methodical tracking process, even with using people use treats on the track. Can you actually take a dog that has already been trained at a certain level, a certain tracking method, and can you transfer that over? Can you incorporate this tracking through drive concept to bring a dog up to that level, up to that standard where you're really tapping into the naturalistic drive of the dog? And the answer is yes. I mean, that's the good news about understanding the process, or understanding dogs as relational animals, how you can definitely switch that over by just focusing in on a different way, a different approach, or a different way of getting the dog to really start to go into or unleash its drive levels as you begin to really focus in on the bite work. I'm going to talk about how the bite work, it's the bite itself, how that is really what really is the kind of way to unleash the dog's naturalistic drive as you start to build off that. And I would encourage you too. I have a book I've written on this concept. I call it Tracking Through Pack, and just to emphasize the relational aspect of what this concept represents. But in that book, and within the book, and another book I wrote called Going the Ground, both those books have the basic rural tracking roadmap in it. So it's kind of like a blueprint to look at, and what you'll see there, you'll see a basic rural tracking outline that I have. It's a diagram in the book, and what you do is by looking at that, you'll see how that kind of frames up step by step the process. But basically, what you're doing is you're beginning to really get the dog focused in on on the bite, on the bite work. And this is the important thing: is making sure you have a really good quarry, really good agitator person that can really role play, really begin to really draw the drive out of the dog, to really get the dog hyped up, get the dog really engaging, really enjoying the process, and really wanting to go. Just the speed and the drive of the dog really get the person engage that way. Because here's the thing: when you start the process, and you see the thing, it's all about starting it in a way that's very just kind of short and sweet. It's this is like a one-leg track. You'll see how it's done. It's really and also with the handler, okay, the handler kind of really allowing themselves to kind of fade out or be objectified, whatever term you want to call it, where they're kind of like along for the ride a little bit. Okay, they're not trying. Here's the what you want to key up on. They're really not at the very first beginning. You're not really trying to put much influence on the dog at all, even in terms of their head coming up, using their eyes a little bit. Because here's the thing: when you first start, it's all about getting that dog to engage with that person, really wanting the bite, really wanting to unleash the dog into that. Because here's the thing: it's about you're being intentional about it. So it's not about just letting everything go when there's no kind of parameters in terms of conditions or influence happening. Those come after you fully unleash the drive of the dog. When you really package it up in such a way, I kind of refer to it kind of like your Happy Meal going through McDonald's, and the toy and the thing. That's kind of like the draw for the kid wanting to haul you into the McDonald's drive-thru, right? They're thinking, wow, that new toy. Well, you can kind of picture the bite work that way. It's kind of like the draw. It's like the McDonald's meal packaged up with the toy inside. And so what you're doing is you're really marketing that. So it's almost like a marketing thing where you're really getting the dog to really get into it, really want to just, and so that's where too it comes in with the core, is really getting the person at first just the win area. The dog is just winning area, getting a really quick, good bite in, really good engagement with the quarry. And then just off just a short one-leg track. So there is a bit of an association there. So as you do it, it's like the expectations of the dog beginning, just the air scent. So even for at first the visual, there's not much expectation, but then it's done in such a way that the quarry begins to go below the hill a little bit, and you have a mound or a hill area, and that dog is beginning to use its nose a little bit, okay, as you do it. But again, it's just about making it fun, beginning to engage the dog, and even with the line itself, just letting the dog out at the end of the line, and this is where, again, when you do it, is the running part, okay? You want to make sure that you're running with the dog. The dog is wanting to move forward, wanting to really, and that's where you have to really, it's one of the things about getting in shape. You got to start to move. You have to start to move with that dog, and lots of praise, lots of reward, But even for, the praise and reward part of that is really focused on timing of that, for intensity, okay? So when you see a dog is more intense at certain points, it's like the timing of that, because what you're doing is you're shaping that, okay? You're emphasizing that. You're saying, hey, good boy, really hyping that up and getting the dog to really begin to engage in just a very, like I said, just a simplistic track that begins to create an association through scent, okay? But the expectations are low, okay? Not really getting the dog to focus in, because here's the thing, the focus here on this, on the simplicity of it, is unleashing speed. Okay, that's what it's about. It's just about the drive of the dog, unleashing the speed of the dog. That's it. Okay, and so what you're doing is you're doing that over and over and over and over again. Now, when you do it, it's not about doing it, too much in one day or anything, but it's about understanding how to draw the dog and how to market it, how to make it fun and rewarding for the dog. But the focus at the first part of this is just on speed. It's just like speed, speed, speed. Drive, just that dog should be just pulling like crazy, really fun, enthusiastic, but in a rural setting, okay, in an area that is has vegetation. It really incorporates characteristics of in a dog's natural type, more naturalistic type of environment. Again, lots of scent is going to be available for the dog, but again, it's just really working on that one leg track over and over again, and really working off a really intensive and fun, enthusiastic bite work. Okay, that's the key. It's just layering up the bite work. So anyway, this is part one, part two. Okay, this is part two of understanding how to take a dog. Again, you can take a dog that has a certain level of training and be able to switch the dog over by incorporating this basic one-leg track with the bite work as the motivating agent. Okay, that's the motivator. That's really what's going to really establish it. But it's really getting the speed up in the dog and encouraging that. So sometimes when a dog is, been trained to be really methodical and slow and stuff, you have to almost make it a separation between, what was done before a little bit. So for example, you put the body harness on the dog a certain way and do certain things, and the dog's mind starts go, okay, I'm going to slowly, methodically. You don't want that right away. What you want to do is, is have that quarry, that bite person, just work on that first. Okay, just even disassociate a lot of the body harness and things like that. Just start to create that drama, that type of marketing, and then just from a short distance. Because sometimes the dog can be so focused on just sequencing, just this, and this, and you're like, wow, my dog is just like, he doesn't even know what to do. Shorten it up, get that quarry in close, and just work the bite, and then just start to mark that off, almost like it's not even like a tracking exercise. It's just like using a long line. Just start to work it out that way, and then as the person then the dog's already getting the same. Wow, my handler's allowing me to do something very different, very unique. I can just go. I can just really want to chase this guy down and just really drive and make it fun. And just so you have to kind of let your hair down. You have to really just kind of let things flow that way, to get a dog to really engage and just let everything go from before. You want to just totally disengage from how you're training the dog to tracking before with the slow methodical thing. Just focus on that speed, just unleashing the speed, but getting a really good quarry, someone that really can really agitate the dog, get that dog hyped up, get that dog really wanting to just move forward and just engage the person and win that sleeve and go from there. So anyway, just something to think about. Again, I'll be doing part 3, again, talking more about the process, really helping you understand how you can really tap into this concept of tracking through drive. But then I'm going to be talking too, through the series of videos, the relational aspect of it too. Understanding, once you get into beginning to get more specific with, getting a dog's nose down into the scent cone, into the scent source, but without losing speed at the same time. So it's all about sequencing here. I'll be going through the actual sequencing, but the first part is just speed. Get speed going, get that really up before you get into doing anything else. So thanks for watching.